when you're living in a van down by the river. Young lady, what do you want to do with your life?
I want to live in a van down by the river.
Well, you'll have plenty of time to live in a van down by the river when you're living in a van down by the river. Now, you kids are probably asking yourselves, hey, Matt, how can we get back on the right track? Well, as I see it, there is only one solution.
You gotta call Dave Gardner and get pre-approved or on.
Move it on in here, because I'm going to bunk with you, buddy.
Hey, welcome to this episode of Monopoly in Real Life. Hey, I'm not Matt Foley. I'm not your motivational speaker. I am here, hopefully, to inspire you to start making some calls and start finding out some data about where you're really at. I get a lot of different questions from buyers who just don't know, right? So that's why it's important for me that we have that conversation so you can start learning what the process is like and how it impacts you and your ability to buy, right? So some of the questions I get are like, hey, is it a good time to be a buyer considering the rates are going up? Rates are still historically low. At one time, they were in the upper teens, even reaching into the 20s. Can you imagine that on a mortgage? Paying credit card rates for a mortgage. Crazy times. But it was where we were, and people were still buying houses. Whatever it takes to get in the game, that's the key for me, right? So some of the other questions. You may be asking yourself, is your credit score good enough? Well, you don't know, and I don't know until we actually do an application. That's when we really know where you're at. A lot of people think their credit's bad. Come to find out, it's actually pretty good. So until we actually do a mortgage poll, which is going to be way different than Credit Karma or any of the other free sites out there, just keep in mind, we're loaning more digits, right? So we're going to do a very intense credit poll. With that, we have real accurate information that we get to work from. Next question is, well, can I afford a monthly payment? The thing is, it all comes back to relative numbers. So if you're paying $2,000 a month in rent right now, we could probably afford a $275,000 to $300,000 mortgage with a minimum down. So that gives you a little ballpark to work with. Now, we don't know these things until we actually do the deep dive, but these are some rough frameworks for you to get your head wrapped around whether it's important enough for you to get out of being a tenant and start really working towards whether to be an owner. Okay. The other questions I get are how much down payment? Again, there's some great minimum down payment programs out there. Hopefully you watch the episode on dispelling the large down payment myth. That's a really good one for you to go watch if that's a concern. How much can I borrow? How much do I need to make? These are all parts of the bigger conversation and part of the equation, right? So to give you an idea, a family income of roughly $26 an hour probably gets you close to that $275,000 to $300,000 purchase with minimal to no debt. All right, so these are conversations that we have once we start digging in. This is where we get into reality, right? Not question marks, not whether I can or not. It's reality of here are the actual guidelines, here's how they apply to you, and here's what we can do to help you get to where you want to get to. Again, I don't want you living in a van down by the river. I want you to get on the path of home ownership and starting to play Monopoly in real life. So again, hopefully you're getting that out of all these episodes, that the reality is we don't know where you're at until you start taking certain actions so that we can find out. Okay? So thanks for joining me in this episode of Monopoly in Real Life. See you soon.